Legend has it that he drank 42,000 bottles in his lifetime, which is absurd. But Winston Churchill was a great lover of champagne, and he is quoted as saying, "Remember, gentlemen, it's not just France we're fighting for, it's champagne." Bonjour, my name is David DeVere. I'm a wine educator and traveler, and you're watching Savvy Nomad TV. This is the eau de vie edition, and this is day 18 of the Costco Around the World Adventure Box. And 18 is up here, but there's nothing up there because the bottle is falling down here. And inside we have not champagne, but a rosé from France. In 4 minutes, our rosé will be ready. However, that gives me 4 minutes to talk about something. And we've covered rosé before. A couple days ago, we had our Italian rosé, which was very nice, but I'm not going to talk about rosés. This is a French wine, so let's talk about French labeling laws. So the French have the rule that the grape variety should not be on the bottle, the region should be on the bottle. So for example, if you wanted to drink a wine from northern Burgundy from the town of Chablis, then you would be drinking a Chablis, and Chablis is made out of Chardonnay. Nowhere on the bottle will it say Chardonnay. It may on the back label because the importer would have more influence over the back label, and they know that Americans like to know what they're drinking. But in France, the law is that the name of the place goes on the label. If you find French wines that say the grape variety on them, you know that they're bulk, low quality table wines. If you find a wine that says the name of the place on the bottle, then you know that it's actually a higher quality wine in France. So, why do they do this? Why did they make it so confusing? Well, there's a very good reason, and the reason is to combat fraudulence in wine. So if we go back all the way back into time, people have been adding water to wine forever. They've been watering it down to stretch it out. But as we get a little bit further down into the history trail, along closer to our current time, there's been lots of other things added to wine to make it a little more palatable. So, for example, in 1690, a bunch of monks in Germany were getting sick and dying. It was found that a dodgy wine merchant was adding lead monoxide to the wine. That was sweetening sour wines and also killing monks. Not really good practice to kill your customers, but he sold wine that was otherwise non-saleable because, well, essentially it was vinegar. This practice was outlawed, but it still continued. In fact, some biographers of Beethoven think that he might have gone deaf from drinking too much lead monoxidized wine. Ooh, too bad for Beethoven. Anyway, there's a history of this. You've got the Austrians getting caught adding glycol to some of their wines. The Italians famously were adding blood to darken up Chiantis. Now, all of these things were existing throughout Europe and throughout the wine industry, and there's still fraudulence to this day, but the French decided they were going to do something about it because they had a reputation to try to maintain. And so in the 1880s, they came up with this system called the AOC, the Appellation d'Origine de Contrôlée. And what that system did was say, you can use your region's name, Chablis in my example, but all the wine from Chablis should be made in this style, made out of Chardonnay, and be harvested this way, bottled this way, treated in oak this way or not that way. And all these rules came in to start to try to protect the brand of the wines from that region. It was an early marketing experiment in protecting brands and thus protecting quality and assuring to consumers that quality is being maintained by these rules. So that's why the French still use the names of the place on the bottle, and other places do too. The Italians and the Spanish also follow this. The Germans have a slightly different rule, and they do put their grape varieties on their bottles. But it's all in consumer protection. It's all to tell you that we've made this honestly without adulteration. I wish that all winemakers would list all ingredients that they put on, because there are a lot of food additives added to cheap, inexpensive bulk wines nowadays. And I think some people do get and have allergic reactions to those. Okay, I think our rosé is probably ready. Let's crack into it. When looking to buy a rosé, you should buy young rosés. They do not benefit from aging. You should buy inexpensive rosés. They don't really benefit from overpricing either. These are young, fruit-forward, food-friendly, easy drinking wines. You shouldn't think about them too much. You should just enjoy them. I like a good rosé, and the best rosés, in my opinion, come from the south of France, from that sun-kissed coastal area called Provence. They make them all over France, though, and you can find rosés from all over the world. Whoops, that one spilled just a little bit. Not the first wine I have spilled on my floor. Okay, I have filled out the top of my tasting card, and let's take a look at our rosé. Rosés can vary in color from pink to salmon. They really aren't rose, as I put in my note here. This one is more copper colored, and so I will circle rosé and write copper. But you can have a huge range in rosé colors. Okay, let's see what we're gonna smell here. It smells cool from the ice bucket. That's nice. There's a particular sharp aroma that I normally get out of a French rosé. This doesn't really express it much. It's kind of almost an herbal aroma. This is there just slightly. It smells all right. It probably needs to open up a little bit in the glass, but it is not overly expressive. Let's work our way around the chart. Citrus, some. Red berries, no. Orchard fruit, a little bit maybe. Tropical fruit, unfortunately, no. Flowers, a little bit. Herbs, a little bit. Roasted, none. Earthy, none. False, none. There. Now we'll taste it. Okay. Dry or sweet? It's dry. Acidity? Noticeable, I guess, is what I'm going to go with. Tannins? None. Alcohol? It's low. Don't really feel the burn here. The body is medium. Actually, do I notice the alcohol? I might. I might actually notice it. I'm going to take another sip. I kind of do notice it. It gives me that kind of, kind of a rubbing alcohol flavor, kind of that brightness of rubbing alcohol. Whew. Okay, balance. Again, here's the problem. So if in this concept, balance is things perfectly balanced, way on the outside, imperfectly balanced is the inside. I've noticed the alcohol. I shouldn't. That is not in balance with the rest of the wine. So it's out of balance. I'm going to mark that appropriately here on the chart, meaning I'm going to put it a dot closer to the center. Complexity, no, not new things in here. And finish, the finish, it's kind of boozy. I don't really like it. Low. All right. Let's go to appearance. 3. Bouquet is underwhelming, 2 points. The taste is, it's all right, 1. The finish, 1. I'll change it to 0. The impression is 1. And going back to preference, low. Not an overly exciting or good example of a French rosé. Okay, I'm going to go do my math and make my shape. Okay, here are my final scores for our French rosé. Now, we don't know much about the wine, so it's hard to pick it apart, but 7 points is not a very good score. It falls into deficient, right in middle of deficient. And if this was a rosé that I'd come across, somewhere in France, I've been like, yeah, this isn't a very good one. Let's not buy it again. But, it's an example. It's deficient. Here's the flavor profile. You can see it's pretty interesting. It kind of almost looks like a star. However, the flavor profile, it's just that. It's not grading anything. It's just showing you where the nuances are inside of the wine and what the wine itself is doing. It wouldn't mean that the wine, like the best wine in the world, wouldn't have an entire circle filled out because, well, that's pretty impossible. And it doesn't necessarily mean that that would be that good, but, flavor profile is in itself its own teaching tool. Okay, that's all I've got for you today. If you've enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. This was day 18. 19 is coming up. We're marching our way toward the end of the box. I hope you're having a good time, and I hope you're sticking with me. Sarah's up next. Until tomorrow, until day 19, I say à tout à l'heure and cheers.
Hi. Cute. Cute dog. Okay, rosé. Ooh, I feel like it is actually orange, or maybe that's just my shirt. Or maybe it really is kind of orange. Light aroma. Smells good. Let's have a sip. Kind of dry, I think, but also a slightly bigger body than I maybe would have imagined. It's quick. It's non-objectionable. I think I like it okay. Cheers.